Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the South Side Unicorn.
And what they're proposing. Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. And as we do every Saturday, we have someone here for you, a real special guest, actually two for the price of one. We're going to be interviewing Scott LaBAIDO, but as you can see on the screen, my brother TootsSweet is here with us too, and I'm honored to have both of you gentlemen with me. Scott, thank you for coming on.
Glad to be here, man. I'm getting a big fan base, and I never thought I would get a fan base in California, so I'm glad to get some words out there.
Nationwide, brother. That's how we do it, right? And TootsSweet, as always, brother, it's nice to see you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to see you. And, it's such a pleasure for me to be here with Scott. Scott, I don't know, he doesn't know this because I never got a chance to tell him, but he was really one of my inspirations for me to get into this movement. I saw Scott back in 2007. He did something, I think it was the Love Fest or whatever the hell. It was a Love Fest. Like I had the video, I was watching it, I was showing everybody. And I'm like, this guy, I love this guy. I was showing all my friends, and everybody was laughing and loving it. And then that's what literally gave me the inspiration to get into doing the music and writing about this, because that's what I do. I'm a musician. I started writing music about the movement, and it was a great thing.
So,
well, I one of the greatest things is, and it's very rare, as you know, in the creative community, there are very few of us. Yeah. And when I hear creative people coming on to this side, and it's happening a lot right now, which is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. So, welcome aboard.
all aboard the fire in the White House.
That's right. For my audience, let me go ahead and make this go in a proper connection. So then, I was going to call you, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Scott, but you're not Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're actually Qui-Gon Jinn, if we were talking about Star Wars, because you set TootsSweet on fire, and TootsSweet inspired me. Do you see how that goes? So you're reaching out there, Scott. You got a lot of influence going on, and for that, I want to thank you again. Having you on the show. Perhaps that's why they call you the Relentless Patriot, and we'll talk more about that throughout the show. The Relentless Patriot. That's one heck of a name. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Scott, LaBAIDO. And am I pronouncing that right? LaBAIDO?
It's LaBAIDO, but the original pronunciation when we came from Italy was LaBAIDO, so you're half right. We'll give you that.
So you're an Italian, are you?
Yes.
Outstanding. And TootsSweet, you are too, right?
My mother's Italian from Brooklyn. My father is Lebanese, so I'm half Italian, half Lebanese.
There it is.
All my New York family is Italian that I grew up with. I got a lot of family in Staten Island too, as a matter of fact. That's Trump country. Oh, check this out. I got my Trump wine. The only place you can get this is in Staten Island. I had one of my cousins got this for me. I'm like, dude, I got to get Trump wine. I can't find it anywhere. I live in Manhattan. And he picked it up. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm waiting for him to come back. When he comes back, I'm breaking this thing open.
There you go.
Well, as we can see, I have the backdrop of, the 5 boroughs in my backdrop back there. Where in the world? Let's see. Brooklyn. Where's Staten Island? It's that little.
You're in front of Staten Island. You're sitting in front of Staten Island.
I'm blocking Staten Island.
You're blocking Staten Island.
Oh,
it's that small.
It's that small.
Staten Island.
Keep going. I see it now. Let me get out the way.
A little below. Yeah, there it goes. Right, the purple guy.
It's this, hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure I get this right. It's the purple right here.
Yeah,
that's it.
See, I got on purple. Staten Island is purple. It's kind of easy to, get it blocked out there. So, were you born and raised in Staten Island, Scott?
Yes, actually, my great-grandparents moved to Staten Island 120 years ago, and my family's still in the same neighborhood up in, it's called Dongan Hills Colony. Used to just be a farm up there and woods, so we were You know, people, when I travel the country, they're like, "Oh, where you from? New York City." I'm like, "You're like, oh, you know, that liberal, so it's buildings, concrete jungle." I was like, no. Staten Island is a different part. It's its own entity, even though it's part of New York City. It has more parks than all the other boroughs combined. And I grew up in the woods, raised by a pack of wolves. Now we used to, we got to play in the woods. You know what I mean? We got to enjoy and expand, and so it's cool. But I like to, tell people like, well, what the hell is a conservative artist doing in that big liberal city? And I'm like, and then they're like, well, what is Staten Island like? Why isn't it like a flag burning hippie part of the city?
But see, that was one of the things that I was intrigued by, Scott. I looked it up, and because you got to do your prep work and everything when you got a guest of your stature on here. So I checked it out. There's 5 boroughs, and Staten Island is considered, what do they call it, the borough of the parks? So,
yes.
When you think it's the borough of the parks and it's got all these trees and all of this going on and the museums and whatnot, I'm thinking about you, Scott, and I'm like, you're an artist, so it would only stand to reason you'd kind of want to be in that environment, but you're also an activist that doesn't hug trees. So how does that work for you, brother?
Well, ironically, I am a tree hugger. I love nature. I save animals, but I'm not a fucking maniac. It's like, this is what makes me nuts is, you got these it's the excessive tree huggers who want me to drive a Prius when you ain't taking my cold dead hands off of that SUV steering wheel. That ain't happening. They want to go over the top. They want to shut the pipeline down to save the 2-headed gnat or whatever, the 2-headed spotted owl. I like nature, but you gotta, when everybody's paying $10 a gallon of gas, ain't nobody gonna give a shit about the 2-headed spotted owl. There's a balance. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. What's really funny, how the hypocrisy is insane. So here you have all the Democrats. All they do is talk bullshit. Oh, we love the planet. I was part of the Tea Party back in the day. We would go. We went to Washington, D.C. with 1 million people. We went there. We literally left the damn place. It was cleaner than when we got there. The police, everybody, they couldn't believe how clean it was. These animals, these pigs go out. The people who love the freaking planet, they burn everything down. They leave shit everywhere. They're a bunch of full of shit hypocrites. They make me so sick. I can't even talk about them. They're disgusting pigs, as far as I'm concerned. That's it.
Toots, you gotta do what I've done. I don't let them get to me anymore. I'll call them all out, but it doesn't let my blood, well, I can't say that. My blood does boil. But when I've had 1 million protests, and when I have one, I bring garbage bags, and I tell everybody, pick up whatever's next to you, and we leave it spotless. And then you see these other crazy bastards.
That's why I'm actually proud to roll as a black conservative, aka black conservative Christian, because the media can say whatever they want to say, but action speaks louder than words. When we go to a rally, when we show up someplace, we leave it cleaner than when we arrived. We don't burn nothing down. We don't beat nobody up. Exactly. So I'm proud to roll as a Republican since 1974. Somebody do the math on that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to do the math. It'll just depress me. I'm sitting here with 2 of New York's finest, and that's the beauty of it. Because, for example, Scott, I forgot to give you this recognition, but I want to put it out there right now. Washington Free Beacon recognized you as the Man of the Year in 2016. How did that happen? What was that recognition for?
What was that?
Because you get so much. The Washington Free Beacon recognized you in 2016 as the Man of the Year. How did that go? What was that?
Well, I do get these accolades, but I don't pay attention to them. I appreciate them, but my mind as an artist does not stop. I don't take time to, I do so much with the veterans for many years and the less fortunate. And people don't see that. They see Scott LaBAIDO, the conservative, white supremacist, crazy fucking patriot. But I'm a very compassionate man.
I got some stuff here, Scott, about how some of these journalists like to talk about you. And somewhere in the show, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to actually read this article because It says Scott LaBAIDO taken into custody after pouring red paint in protest outside Manhattan's DA's office. I mean, that's like taking it straight to the man. But we'll talk about this a little bit later. I didn't know you do a lot of stuff with the Patriots. So were you a veteran? Are there veterans in your family? What's going on, Scott?
It's got a lot of veterans in my family. And the number one reason is that I realized early in life that I have more freedoms than most people because I am an artist. And we artists get to test that boundary, the First Amendment, and our free expression. And there's only one reason I have that, and that is for the men and women that died and come home with missing arms and legs that are half my age, and I've always paid forward, always, because without them, I'm nothing. And that's the thing I want to bring this up while I got it in my mind, these protesters. When you desecrate the flag, protesting your grievances, okay? I've protested 1,000 times over the last 30 years, and that flag is with me every time, and I hold it up high. No matter what my grievances are, whether it's with the government or whatever it is, that flag is flown high. Why? Because that flag allows me to express my grievances. So when I see these punks, okay, kneeling on the flag, pissing on, turning their back on the flag, burning the flag to bring attention to their grievances, what happens, my friend, is nobody's paying attention to their fucking cause.
You lose me right there. You lose me.
The only thing they're doing, they're not hurting me. They're hurting that World War II veteran that I have coffee with once a month, who cries to me, and that the Vietnam veteran, and that young Afghanistan veteran, and they are sick to their stomachs. The only thing they're doing is hurting them. That reason you can express your grievances is because of that flag. That one thing.
And I'm going to say something.
I want to say this.
Ken, hold on. I want to just say something.
Hold on.
Ken, I want to just
hold on.
I want to say that you're a veteran.
Hold on, brother.
And he's a veteran.
Hold on, brother. Let me do my show.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is called
you guys fired up. I love it.
That's right. This is called a segue. Let a brother segue into the show. Now we got two artists here, but we got two different type of artists. We have one that does it with a brush, and we got another one that does it through his music. That's my brother TootsSweet over here. Now, TootsSweet, since I got my segue up in there, go ahead, man.
I wanted to just thank you so much, Ken, for your service. And I don't really speak for anybody but myself, but I think it's fair to say I'm going to speak for our whole audience when we all say thank you so much. We truly appreciate your service to this country. You're a true American hero. And I love you for it. That's how I met you.
Right, and that's how you met me. But as you know, I lost my son, who was a Marine.
That was so sad. Oh
yeah, and you know, if any honors and attributes go anywhere, please let it go to my son, Kenneth Alexander White.
Of course.
3rd Battalion Marine.
Of course.
You know, because like I said, I did my tour. Everybody that wears a uniform, when you wear the uniform, what you're saying is, today I'm willing to die for this country, even if you never saw combat. You are still saying that every day you wear the uniform.
Exactly. So there's a lot of veteran military guys. I never really served. I said, I don't give a shit. You had the balls to put that uniform on. I did not. So I worship you. I don't care what your politics are. We disagree. I worship you.
Amen. Amen. Scott, really.
Right. So we have to, we want to give some respect to those, especially the soldiers and service members that we're losing, because they're passionate. They're passionate, and somehow they're unable to cope with the situation, and they're taking their lives at alarming numbers. You know, so I would imagine and I call them jabronis, and I'm not even Italian, but you know, I'd imagine, some of these jabronis that are running around complaining about our military, kneeling at sporting events, and all of these things. The ungrateful. I'm not going to follow you guys down that path with those words, but I'm going to say ungrateful son of a guns. You know what I'm saying? It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. So I got two outstanding artists from New York right here for all of you guys on the West Coast. You thought we had all the artists. You thought we're the ones that just do it to it. No. Look at that. You got Scott over here. You got TootsSweet up there. And we have to take a station break so we can make a little bit of money up in here. So we'll be taking a break right now, but go nowhere.
You are listening to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend, Ken White. He'll be back after these messages.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. And we're back for the second segment, and we have Scott LaBAIDO. We have TootsSweet. Both of these cats are from New York, from different areas. You know, TootsSweet, I never asked you, brother, what barrio are you from? Borough. It's not barrio. Borough, right? See,
You're from California.
That's right. I said barrio.
I'm from the Green Barrio. I'm from Manhattan.
Let's see.
I was actually born in Queens. I was born in Flushing, Queens.
But you're in Manhattan now.
Yeah. Huh? And I was born in Flushing, which is in Queens, the orange guy. And that's why I got the Mets and the Jets stuck up my ass. So it wasn't unfortunately. I had a couple of good years, but not many. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was, obviously when you do your show prep, you just figure things out. And I'm doing this because of the benefit of my audience, because some of them are from California and they would call it a barrio as opposed to a borough, right? Yeah. So these are the translations that have to happen, because you two gentlemen have nationwide influence, if not indeed worldwide influence. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to give you a bit of an idea, I was saying that Staten Island got the bank. The median income out there is $82,783. But guess what? That puts them in second place. Would you like to know who's in first place? Do you know who's in first place, Toots?
I would probably say Queens. I would say Brooklyn.
Nah, it's where you at, brother. Manhattan is number one. It has the highest.
I should have said Manhattan actually, but there's so many low-income houses out here. So I didn't know, but that makes sense.
But that's part of the program, bro. Wherever the money's at, right? Wherever people are making some scratch, they got this new program. I can't remember what the number of it is. It says it's got like some secret code number. They intentionally build low-income housing in upper middle class and middle class communities. Scott, are you having that experience in Staten?
We're having some issues. I mean, there's this one area is called the North Shore. St. George Theater, Stapleton area, where it's the eccentric, a lot of artsy kind of thing there. And it's right by the ferry where Borough Hall is. And the last couple of years, so much money's been pumped in. They were going to put the Ferris wheel, if you remember. I don't know if you remember, this biggest Ferris wheel in the world, and the new ballpark and stuff and all this stuff. And as soon as they started doing that, money started coming into this neighborhood. And it was a little, needed its uplifting. And all of a sudden, our mayor, the biggest piece of garbage that ever walked the face of the earth, Mayor de Blasio, he hates us as much as we hate him. He decides to build the biggest homeless shelter. Now, listen, I'm a humanitarian. Homeless people need shelters. They need it. I agree. But there's a place to put it right smack in the middle where all of these people just came in and dumped their money for the small mom and pop businesses to thrive. And this piece of garbage just dropped it right there in the center. And everything just fell to pieces. It's still building up, but it's going to be a nightmare. So,
that is a strategy of theirs, because they did. I actually grew up in Long Island before I moved into the city. In Long Island, they're doing the same exact thing. All of the middle class, they want to put low income housing or different type of apartment buildings right in the middle of middle class houses. So you just buy a nice house, you move out of the city, you move to the suburbs. You saved your money. And then they're trying to turn the suburb into the city. It's a strategy. They're doing this on purpose. Our governor, this piece of filth, she just literally
wait a minute. Stop. Put on the brakes. I got to keep up with you guys. You got a mayor did blah, 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 but I think he's already up out of there, and he was garbage. Now you said that your governor's garbage too? I mean, what's going on here?
Oh, my gosh. Scott,
one worse than the other.
What do you think of that lovely lady?
One worse than the other. Cuomo was a disaster, and then we knew we were getting something to work just as bad. And I'm more pissed off with this mandate. This mandate bullshit is a whole nother story. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Well, watch this. That's what I wanted to get in with you guys real quick. Anybody recognize what this little bad fella is right here? Anybody know what that is?
That's the virus. That's a virus.
That's the thing, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we got an artist here, Scott LaBAIDO. Now, he's painting, and we're going to get into that because I see some of your work in the back there, and it's good stuff. That's good stuff. I hear, TootsSweet's artistry because he's a musician. So his comes by hearing. Yours comes by seeing. As an artist, I'm trying to figure out, when did you become an activist? And your issue is the anti-mandate. So you're not with mandates at all. Am I understanding you right, Scott?
Yeah, 100%. No, that is not. I am a free.
But see, that makes you an anti-vaxxer. That makes you lower than pond scum. I mean, why are you against it?
First of all, I care not what anybody says. I do not care. But I know, because I know who I am, whether I'm called a racist or whether I'm called an anti-vaxxer and a killer because I want people to live free. I don't care, because freedom is my number one thing. I am here to live free. I make sacrifices to live free. I don't have children because I need to be a freedom fighter. And I've done that for 30 years. That's what I need. That's my life's goal.
Wow.
Watch this.
Let me chew on that a little bit. That was very deep, Scott. Hold on. You're saying that you recognize the premium of freedom so much that you didn't have children as a plan of operating your freedom?
I come from a great family. My parents were great to me, and God gave me this thing and this passion and this movement that is my life. It has ruined many of my relationships. Not that that's a bad thing to have many relationships, but it's just the way it is. And I would never want to sacrifice the love and time to spend with a child when I know I can't, because I need to be this voice for people they're voiceless, because they can't say and do what I do, guys. Okay. Because they'll get fired. They'll get, their job, their pension's gone. It's sad that they don't have that freedom of expression anymore in the greatest free country in the effing world. And I shouldn't even be. I should have a family down the Jersey Shore doing characters of people at the fucking local fair with a white picket fence. Yeah, but I like that. Yeah. But there's a different plan for me, and I just can't watch it. I can't watch it burn down.
Yeah, and God bless you.
Exactly. God bless you for that. I am really shocked at both of you gentlemen that your passions in New York, and I guess it would only stand to reason. You got the Statue of Liberty in New York, if I'm not mistaken. One of the worst terrorist attacks in the history of our nation occurred, sadly, in your area. So it would stand to reason that the two of you are on fire for our nation. Speaking of that, Scott, correction, Toot, I want to talk a little bit about your artistry right now. Is there something in the works going on with you real quick?
Yeah, I'm working on a book that I'm going to be putting out. I think in about 2 or 3 weeks it should be coming out. It's called TootsSweet's Magical Musical History Tour. I'm documented history from the early, from when it first started doing it, like around 2008, 2009 to 2012 through songs. So there's 24 songs with all the lyrics. The book is actually my lyrics that you're going to read. And then I took a break in 2012 to 2015. I was doing other stuff. And then I came back in 2015 with Trump when he came down the escalator. And now that's going to be the second book. It's going to be the second part of the story from Trump coming down to where we are today, present day, all the songs. And it's just reading the lyrics of the songs with a little description on it. And that's going to be the book, the 2 books. I don't think anybody's ever done that before, so I'm pretty proud of it.
No, they haven't.
I love it.
Yeah, that's almost like the Beatles with their anthem. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take a station break in just a little bit, but I want to squeeze a little bit more out of these 2 cats because I am just honored to have you on the show. But when we come back, we're going to start drilling down into Scott LaBAIDO and some of the things that are going on. This man is a passionate patriot. I'm sure you're getting that through everything you're hearing him say right now. He believes in our nation so much. He believes in his calling on his life so much. When he said it earlier in the first few segments, he said, I've made sacrifices for my freedom. I was like, what is this man talking about? I mean, he's not in the military. He's not a cop. What's these sacrifices? And then he just expressed it. I want you all to understand we're all making sacrifices at some level in some kind of way for this country. And I am honored to have the 2 of you here on the Southside Unicorn Show today. Scott, I'm going to be chewing on what you said for a long time, brother. I mean, you have dedicated your life to being and I'm trying to find the right words, and here I am, a commentator, and I'm looking for the words to try to frame Scott LaBAIDO. So I guess if I was going to say it, you're the voice for the voiceless. You and Toots, and through artistry and music, you're providing that voice, because when I hear you talk, Scott, my heart goes, yeah, that's right, that's right. So I want to thank you both for being the passionate patriots that you are. when we come back in the third segment, I want to drill down into it. And Toots, I hope you'll stay with us. Can we keep you for the show?
Yeah,
brother?
absolutely. Yeah, listen, I ain't going nowhere. What are you kidding me?
Thank
This is the once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm not going in.
Till the wheels fall off, right? That's the way we got to do it around here. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have to take a station break because we got to get some chips up in here, right? But when we come back, we're going to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly about Scott. And I got your name all messed up because I was going to say Scott Bio. Has anybody ever done that with you? Have they called you that before? I figured they did.
Especially when I was a kid in school.
See, Scott Bio. Yeah, Scott LaBAIDO. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, after these messages. Go nowhere.
You are listening to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend, Ken White. He'll be back after these messages.
When I see a new broadcast from the Southside Unicorn, I can't wait to listen to it. You just never know what he's going to say.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are back for the third segment. My, this show is going fast. I wish we could do a 2-hour special. If I'm lucky, can I get the two of you back for a second bite at this?
Just make the call. I'm in.
Absolutely.
My man. Thank you, guys. Yeah, because I can see right now, I mean, we're already in the third segment, and we could go on and on and on. But I do want to get down to the nitty-gritty. So we're going to just get started up in this city. Scott, being a patriot and being the passionate patriot that you are, I'm kind of reminded of the civil rights era when we had Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Abernathy, Malcolm X. And yes, I am putting you all in those categories. I know some people would say, but wait a minute, they ain't black. What does color have to do with loving your country? So I do put you guys in that category. And I put you in that category, Scott, because I see that you've been arrested, brother.
Quite a few times.
And all in the, yeah, I guess he was like, where's Kenny going with this, right? You have been arrested, but and please tell me that those were for expressing your civil rights, for standing up for freedom. It wasn't for like selling drogas or all that kind of stuff. Obviously not. I just have to put that out there. So Scott, I'm looking and I see you had a court case on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Was it a massacre or did you come out okay? What's going on with that, brother?
It came out all right. It came out with an ACD, I think it's called, whatever, case dismissed. Disorderly conduct was what I got for because, look, artwork. Some of my artwork you see in the background, it's emotional. It moves you a certain way, and then there is.
You mean this right here?
That. See, that's ugly art, but that's necessary. Mm-hmm. Necessary. And if you show that picture, what I did now, this is Alvin Bragg's. The whole problem we have in this city and all the big cities is crime. Biggest thing is crime. I don't understand how you defund the police and you let the criminals through the revolving doors of justice. I'm not talking about somebody who threw garbage out the window or jumped the turnstile. I'm talking about these violent criminals with illegal guns, killing and hurting and maiming people that just come right out the door again to do it again. It makes no sense. Nobody's using common sense.
And what about the ones that are pushing people off your subways and whatnot? I mean, they say that stabbings have gone up over 37% in the New York area. I guess since the woke figured they want to defund the police, they didn't understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And the reaction to defunding the police is stabbings have gone up 37% in New York.
It's just beyond insane. It's just innocent people, working class, hardworking taxpayers are the victims of senseless crime day in and day out. And it is because of these liberal woke DAs. You got them. LA's got one.
Oh okay? Yeah, we're gonna try to get rid of that homie too. I mean, with the stuff he's out here doing, I saw a mother and just full disclosure, I'm helping some organizations in Los Angeles with the homeless, with veterans, the whole 9 yards. But one of the things that broke my heart was a mother whose child was just brutally murdered. And this DA couldn't wait to let these guys get out. I'm like, dude, you need to be in there. You need to be in there.
Yeah. So the DA is public enemy number one here now, and everybody is nuts over it. So what I've been doing for 30 years is when I first saw political correctness and cancel culture pop its ugly head up in the 90s, I said, I have to do something. And I used my art to protest because God gave me that gift. And I knew sometimes it was going to get me arrested. But the point was, I knew it was going to be an easy something. I never destroyed anything. Like that blood that's poured all over the street, as horrible as that looks, that's kids' biodegradable, water-soluble, washable paint. By the time I get out of the jail,
on the next rain, by the time the rain would come, this would be
No,
gone.
they washed it off. By the time I got out of the jail cell in 2 hours, it was like nothing even happened.
No. What I'm saying is you were so considerate that the materials that you used,
right?
If it rained, it would just go away.
Yes. Unlike, remember the 2 years of Antifa and some of these badasses in BLM who painted, destroyed, broke, permanent spray paint on everything. Nothing, not even an arrest, not even a ticket. But I knew with this, I needed to get that collar because the collar brings more attention. And that more attention puts more heat on who I'm fighting against, which happened to be the DA, Alvin Braggs. And it brought so much heat down on him. The governor had to talk to him and tell him to pull his reins back. So sometimes these things work, and I've been doing this for so long, and I will continue to do it to the day I die. Because what I did on that street, everyone was like, some people in the media were like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I can't look at this. And I'm like, hold on a second. That's water washable art paint. But there's real effing blood running through the streets of this city. And nobody's complaining about that. But I'm the bad guy because I had an autistic expression with paint. That's where everybody's fucked up, is because I did the bad thing. Not the guy in the street who just pushed the lady in front of a train or shot that little girl with the pink jacket in the face.
That's right.
It sickens me.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me take a sip of my drink.
Now I'm loving this. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And you know something, Scott? I'm going to tell you, when they were running around here, all the streets were all boarded up. Every building was boarded up, not because of MAGA supporters, because of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We're busting everything down, going and looting everywhere. And they were saying, oh, this is peaceful protest. They're just expressing themselves. You pour a little washable finger paint on the damn floor and they flip the hell out. These people are hypocrites. They're sick. They're disgusting. The double standard is so blatantly obvious. Anyone who still supports this, you can't. I used to say they're just dumb and they don't pay. You're just literally the enemy of this world. The enemy of. You're not part of America. We're fighting to save America, and these people that support this are literally supporting the enemy of our country. It's mind blowing to me.
Well,
I have so many liberal friends.
Right there is where I want to put my point. There comes a point in your life where you have to make a decision. And this nation is being torn apart, not so much because, we want to be at war with each other. It's being torn apart because there are people who are sitting at home knowing that Hillary Clinton did what she did, and they're not demanding that she go to jail. There are people sitting at home watching the DA of New York use the power of her office to attack President Donald J. Trump, and they're not saying anything. And the part that gets me, and Scott and Toots, I hope you guys don't mind. There's only one brother, two white boys, one brother. But I got to do this.
Well, I'm half Sicilian, so.
Okay.
I don't
That
get
puts you in the house, right?
I get tan standing under a street light.
Somebody told me about them Sicilians. I understand what you're saying. Hey,
from the waist down. From the waist down.
That's what.
Hey, well, not for nothing, but everybody thinks I'm black too when the lights are off, so that's okay. How's that?
Well, I would laugh with you guys, but when the lights are off, they think I'm white. So, So anyway, I'm talking about this DA in New York. She happens to be an African American female, and I'm sitting here being a brother from the South Side of Chicago, and I remember what the brothers on my corner used to say when the police would come and roust them. And mind you, I'm a former police officer, military and civilian. Graduated third in my class, if I got to brag about it. But as a child, I remember, Saturday night, the police would roll up and they would roust the brothers. I mean, just put them in the paddy wagons and stuff for nothing. Now I'm 10 years old and these guys are the ones I'm looking up to because these are the men of my community, right? So then they would come back on Monday or Sunday looking a little disheveled because they put them in jail overnight, right? And they would always say this saying, man, I went into that courtroom looking for justice and all I found was just us, And I say that to say this. Yes, the black community, African Americans, Negroes, whatever the color is right now. I guess I should check with Joe Biden and see what our color is today. But you know what I'm saying? Whatever color you want to put on the black American, we have suffered a lot. I'm not even going to try to measure it with the Jewish community or that. We have suffered a lot. I'm saying that. I recognize that. I'm putting that out there. However, or howsoever, as my mama would say, if you can't be fair and just yourself, how can you expect justice? The very same thing this DA is doing to President Donald J. Trump, using her office to beat him down. Well, isn't that what the white boys used to do to the brothers back in the 40s and the 50s anyway? So I'm sitting there asking both of you guys, I wanna touch on race just a little bit. Because I know people, they hear your accents, they know you're Italians, you're in New York, so the first thing they're going to say is, oh, both these white boys is racist, and this brother's just cooning for the white man. No, y'all have at it. Talk to me. Convince me that you're not racist, even though I know you're not already. I want you to do it for my audience. Talk. Say something.
Listen, my mother was very liberal, and we had people in our house on Thanksgiving. We had black homeless people. We had gay people in our house before it was, when it was taboo. She let us know that everybody is equal. Everybody. She sent me and my two brothers to a mainly black school in Staten Island because she wanted us to get culture outside our neighborhood. She wanted us to learn. And I know who I am. And if I was on that bus in the 60s and some white dude told Rosa Parks to get up and go to the back of the bus, I'd be in jail and that sucker would be in the hospital. That's how I sleep at night. But I'm a racist. It doesn't matter because I voted for Trump. Because I'm a NASCAR fan. I can't wait tomorrow at the Daytona 500. Wow. I am the devil, but I don't care. I sleep at night. The problem is I don't like when people say, even people on my side, like, well, I don't see color. Stop. I'm a fucking artist. I see color. I see an Asian man. I want to know his culture. There's a black. I want to know where's he from. Is he from Jamaica? I want to. There's a guy from a Muslim guy. I want to. Yeah. I see you. I want to see you. You're not going to be not who you are.
And see, Scott, that's beautiful and that's real talk, ladies and gentlemen, and that's how we do it on the Southside Unicorn Show. I have friends of mine who used to say, you know what, Kenny, I don't really see you as black, and that would offend me. I'm like, please see me as black. I want you to. That way, you understand that black people are people too. And now, going into that, I heard what you said, Scott, and the whole audience heard what you said. You're talking an audience around the world. You made a statue of President Donald J. Trump, or then President Donald J. Trump, in 2016, which was your right, which was you expressing all of that artistry coming out of you. What happened to that piece of art that you made of President Trump?
It was burnt down. I had it on a friend of mine's front lawn who lets me use his front lawn in a major street where it's good traffic. And I always put my artwork. Sometimes it's just abstract art. Sometimes it's political. Sometimes it's sports themed. So I put this giant red, white, and blue T, 12 foot, just to represent Trump. I didn't say Trump because what was happening was people's signs were getting destroyed. So I just put this T up, this patriotic T. And it obviously represented Trump. And a couple of young punks burnt it to the ground. And he called us that day. The next day, I was putting it up twice the size. And he happened to call the house because we reached out for the campaign. Mm-hmm. And he said, first thing he said was, he goes, first of all, you're too famous than me. I don't like it. You're all over the news. And then I said, Mr. Trump, don't worry. I'm building it twice as big. It's going to be huge.
Oh, wait a minute. You got a call from President Trump?
Yeah.
Have you met him?
No.
But you got that call. You got that call.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I don't know when to shut up. So I want to go back to the race issue. Okay.
Watch this. We're going to go back to the race issue in just a minute. Y'all know what time it is. It's always these commercial breaks and stuff, but we got to do it. If you want to support the show, you know how to do it. Just go on the links and you'll find it. TootsSweet, how do they get a hold of you if they want to support you in your endeavors?
You just go to TootsSweet.com.
TootsSweet.com. Scott?
TootsSweet.com.
Scott, how do
Same
they get a
thing,
hold
nice
of
and simple. ScottLaBAIDO.com.
ScottLaBAIDO.com. You guys know how to find yours truly. But right now, we do have to take a station break. We'll be right back after these messages. Go nowhere.
It's Joy Villa, and I'm reminding you to tune in to the Southside Unicorn Show, hosted by my friend Ken White.
Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. I belong to you.
Hey, my name is TootsSweet, and I'm New York City's original artist singing for the cause of freedom. I've spent the last 10 years of my life documenting history through my music. It's like a recipe that's blessing me, bringing out the best of me, aggressively testing me to create my own destiny and understanding, universally accepting adversity and learn more lessons in life than you're learning any. And when I'm in need of a dose of reality to escape the liberal land of make-believe, I tune in to the Southside Unicorn, where the truth is as solid as New York City concrete. My name is TootsSweet, and you're listening to my friend Kent White on the Southside Unicorn, and this party's just getting started.
Hey, it's your boy Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and man, I am just not liking this. I'm not liking this. Why am I not liking it? Because we're in the fourth segment. This show went so fast, and these two dynamite gentlemen from New York, two different boroughs. I want to say barrios so bad, but that's the West Coast coming out of the brother. You know what I'm saying? When we left off, we were just about to drill down into race a little bit. I'd like to go ahead and continue with that. Let's not stay there too long. But, you know, before we went to station break, Scott, you were going to say something. What was it?
Yeah, I'm putting together a forum of different individuals to embrace something that nobody wants to talk about, and that's race issues in a public forum where we could say what we want, obviously without name calling and stuff, and without having these sensitive snowflakes in the fucking audience that are going to just jump up and say, hey, and it's going to be so good. And I just want to say about race, look, I'm smart enough to know that racism does exist, okay? It is not systemic like the media forces you to think. There will always be racist, homophobes, bigots. That is the nature of mankind. But systemic racism is not what they are saying it is. Racism does exist. Yes, it's there, okay? But who's making it happen, okay? And the Black community needs to separate themselves from these people that are separating us. That's all they're doing. It is a great subject that needs to be publicly spoken. And everybody's afraid. I don't fear anything because I know who I am.
I'm not scared.
I'll
talk with you about it.
Totally agree, Scott. It's funny. When I was growing up, I'm half Italian, half Lebanese, and there was no Lebanese people. I was born in the 60s, so I was growing up in the, late 60s and early 70s when I had friends coming over. And my grandmother on my Lebanese side, she lived with us. So she was cooking tabbouleh, kibbeh, hummus, majadra, all the different Middle Eastern foods that nobody ever heard of. And people were eating it, and then in the 80s, then it started to get popular. But so here I am, I'm half Lebanese in an all white, in Long Island growing up with, it was matzah pizza. They used to call it matzah pizza. It was all Italians and Jews. So anyway, people didn't, nobody cared about race. It was like you meet people. And exactly what Scott said, I felt the same way. So then when I moved into the city, back in the late 80s, I was living in Manhattan. I'm still here. I started meeting people from all different races. I love it. I want to meet people from the West Indies. I have friends from and I want to know their culture. I want to know their food. The food is what literally unites all of us. I love Jamaican food, West Indian food, Italian, Filipino food, of course. Ponce, what is it? Ponce? I eat Filipino.
Pancit Canton.
Pancit, yeah. I've been to the Philippines. Yeah, adobo. I went to the Philippines. I was there. It's amazing. I mean, I love it all. The only racist. This is the problem we have. Yes, there are racists, but they're Democrats. The Democrats are the racists. Every one of them. It's like They were the ones with the Jim Crow laws. They were the ones who with the slavery. They were the ones with the KKK. They were the ones who segregated our military, not once but twice. They were the ones, everything they did came from the Democrats. And they always do what they do best is projection. They project all their nonsense onto us. They're the racists, not us. And you know how you can tell they're the racists? Any black man that was a Democrat who leaves the Democrat Party, I've met so many of them. They're like, I've never been called so many names. I met Leo Terrell. He's like, I left the Democrat Party. I feel like a new man. It's like they washed his fungus off.
What does he call himself? Leo Terrell 2.0?
2.0. Yeah, I was talking. I had a
He's
nice
been
conversation. I
reborn.
love you.
Well,
Yeah.
see, watch this. The beauty of me is this, and that's the namesake of my show, the Southside Unicorn Show. I have been a Republican since I was 10 years old. I was a latchkey kid. My mom, would have to work from sunup to sundown, so the television was my babysitter. And I ended up watching the Johnny Carson show one night, and there was this governor from California on there wearing a tan suit. His name was Governor Ronald Reagan. What did I watch that show for? Because by the time he was done talking, I was like, at 10 years old, as the sirens are blasting out front of my windows, I was like, I want some of that. Whatever that man is about, that's what I want to be about. You know what I mean? So I've been a Republican my whole life. Gentlemen, I want to get into some of the things that Scott is doing. I understand that he's no stranger to movies. I mean, he has such movies to his credit as, let's see here, Attack of the Giant Gull, The Atomic Space Bug, and Toilet Gator. Well, with titles like that, I would only imagine what those movies could be about. I'm going to check them out even more so. But what I really want to talk about, Scott, right now is your next movie venture, which is The Relentless Patriot. That's you. Would you care to tell the audience what that is and what's going on?
Yeah, it is a documentary that I've been wanting to do about my life. Not to be narcissistic. I'm only 57 years old. I'm not, Picasso or Michelangelo. But it's not about just the painting. It's about the activism, the blood, guts, and the glory of it, getting arrested, doing something, being kind of like the Paul Revere back in the, late 80s and early 90s when I was, look, it's Crazy Scott getting arrested on the front page in handcuffs. What is he doing, that crazy tinfoil hat guy? Now they see it because I was trying to warn them through my art that this shit is coming down the pipeline and it's going to be horrible. And here we are. So it's all of everything. My work with the veterans, my art from the childhood, the flags across America as I drive through all these states and paint these flags on these buildings, these veterans posts. And there's 1,000 protests and everything's on film. So it's a documentary. And the reason I decided, with this film crew who came to me is to get it out this summer is because I know it's going to help change the election come November. Because it's going to fire people up. Because I am squashed on social media.
You got me fired up. I'm ready. Where's the fight? Let me go. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's roll.
Scott, I remember that. When you did that Flags Across America, that was literally one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Hands down. That was unbelievable. Wow, bro.
Well, I'm going to be able to display that to my audience, the Flags Across America thing. Because, Scott, let me just, I love to put my little metaphors in there and whatnot. I want to speak about Samson and Delilah. Back when Samson was put before Dagon and they had him, you guys remember, Victor Mature, he's in between the two pylons, right? And like you said, Scott, everybody's laughing. They're calling you tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists and all of this stuff. That's similar to when Samson was in between those two pylons. He's just pushing and pushing. So the people are laughing. They're like, oh, look at him. He's trying to tear down those pylons. Nobody can tear down those pylons. They were laughing in the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? But then that stone cracked, and you could hear an ant fart at that moment. Scott, you're being vindicated. TootsSweet, you're being vindicated. You guys have been long-suffering patriots trying to warn people just like Paul Revere. And now here we are. And all the things you guys have been talking about, all the things in your music, TootsSweet, all your artistry, Scott, that stuff is starting to make a lot of sense to a lot of people. So hopefully with this show and other shows, because you do a lot of appearances, Scott, I get that, Hopefully it's going to start to wake people up and they're going to get, hey, I'm not a Democrat. Because, I look at it this way. It's just like with the Karate Kid. Even all those guys in Homeboy's dojo, once he started saying sweep the leg and, just be dirty and nasty, the decent people were like, I ain't with that, man. I'll go ahead and lose before I win by cheating. And I think with the two of you doing what you're doing, you're giving people that wake-up call to say, am I really a part of this crap? Or am I a decent, good person? Why not? You see what I'm saying? Hey, watch this. That's what I do on the Southside Unicorn Show. Now, I want to, do some wrap up here. But Scott, I really want you to help the people. How do they get to you? What do you need from the people? What's going on?
It's funny. I've been asking for money because people think I'm a rich, famous artist. I'm not. I could have done that 20 years ago. That's easy. Easy is going to be on my tombstone. Easy is for
another
wussies.
Sacrifice you made.
Believe me, people think I have money. I don't, because I make money and I give it right away. I put these projects together. I do these memorials for people with loss, so and so on. But this movie needs to be complete. It is done, but now the technical part has to be done, and that costs money. So I'm out begging for people. And what pisses me off more than anything else is George Soros hands out billions of dollars to any creative idiot as long as they are bringing down this country. And what really pisses me off is that I know there's a lot of rich Republican patriots out there who've been patting me on the back for 30 years, but won't throw me a goddamn dime. And that makes me sick. Makes me sick. So people, I got GoFundMe, I got the Seek GoFund. People are trickling in, and I love every second of it. The hardworking man should not be paying for this. But this movie isn't about me. It's about us. And that's what it has. It's about me, but it's our voice.
It's about you to help us understand where the hell we at. Now, gentlemen, before we go, I've been dying to say this, Scott, because I checked you out. You are an incredible man. I'm just honored to have had you on the Southside Unicorn Show. I want to get you guys back on again, but I want to read this to the audience in reference to you, Scott. It's a poem called No Man is an Island. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if any promontory were, as well as any manner of thy friend or thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never sin to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Old English. Beautiful poem written by John Donne. And I would like to say, if a man could be an island, or an island a man, it would be Scott LaBAIDO as Staten Island. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. That means the world to me. That means a lot to me. It's people like you that inspire me, and Toots that inspire me to keep going. I can't go down the shore and do characters and get a white picket fence. It's not happening.
No, it's not. And the funny thing is, you're the one who inspired me. I mean, 2007, that video you made inspired me. And I don't know if you remember, I met you for the first time I met you, literally was at, what the hell was his name? Danny? No, not Danny. Tony Danza. Tony Danza was there. It was Terry. It was the front of the Towers.
Both of you guys know Tony Danza.
Tony Danza. It was an event with Tony Danza. I think John Franco was there.
Yep.
And that's where I met you for the first time. Tunnel for Towers. Terry Tierney was the guy who invited me. He's a friend of mine. And and I went there and I was like, oh man, it's Scott. And I said, I got to take a picture of you. And I went and met you. That was the first time I met you. And you did your painting. I mean, it was amazing to the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, it was beautiful. Unbelievable, bro. You really are such a talent and such a spirit to all of us. You inspired me. In return, me and Kenny got to meet. And then we've been friends ever since. I mean, that's what it's all about. And there's no better people. It's come full circle. And there's no better people than the people on our side. I swear to God, I've never met so many beautiful people in my life.
How good does it feel? Doesn't it feel good?
Amazing.
I'm an optimist. We're going to fucking win this. Trust me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sorry about the cursing, everybody. I slowed down. I slowed down for Kenny.
I know. I've seen some of your videos, so I'm gonna have to mark the show as an explicit show, but that's okay. It was worth it. Scott, you are a source. You are an energy. The last minute belongs to you, brother. What do you want to say to the people?
Keep your chin up. Don't be sensitive to every little detail of every little thing. That the oversensitivity is going to get you nowhere. Incentive is my favorite word. Have incentive. Don't just sit there and wait for the government to keep handing you for generations. I don't care if it's you open up a nail salon, a hot dog stand, or you want to be an astronaut. It's you, not the government. Have some incentive. Your life is short. Make something of it. And don't give up the ship.
Amen. Don't give up the ship. Hey, everybody, listen to me. There's no place I'd rather be. There's nothing more I'd rather do than being right here doing this show for you. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show, and we are out.